This past week, I was supposed to be in Washington, D.C. with the fifth graders from my school. Of course, we weren't able to go. But one of my favorite parts of our week there is when we go to visit Mount Vernon, which was the home of our first president, George Washington. Mount Vernon sits on the banks of the Potomac River. It has a fantastic view, and it's just amazing to be there and to think of the history involved in that place. While we're there, we asked the kids to kind of find some different things, and one of the things we asked them to find is the verse that George Washington picked to have put on his tomb. And so when we get back together and we're debriefing, they let us know what that verse was. And it's actually from the book of John, chapter 11, verse 25 and 26. And on George Washington's tomb, it has these words: "I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me will live even if he dies. And everyone who lives and believes in me will never die." And of course, that's a tremendous promise of Jesus. And it was made to Martha. You might be familiar with this story. Martha and Mary were friends of Jesus along with their brother Lazarus. Lazarus got sick and they called for Jesus to come. But by the time Jesus arrived, Lazarus had died. And as Jesus comes to their home, Martha questions him about why he didn't get there and wouldn't her brother have lived. And then Jesus says these wonderful words to her. Part of it that's not on George Washington's tomb, but I actually think is the most important part of the verse, is a question that Jesus asks Martha. Listen again as I read it. "I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me will live even if he dies. And everyone who lives and believes in me will never die." And then this question, do you believe this? And I would say that that is the most important question that any of us will ever be asked to answer. Do we believe that Jesus is the resurrection and the life? Do we believe that putting our trust in him means that while we may die in our physical bodies, we will never die in terms of an eternal death of separation from God? I hope that as you're listening to this today, that you could say with confidence, "Yes, I believe, Lord. I believe that you are the resurrection and the life." It makes all the difference, both for eternity and for how we're experiencing each day of our lives.